Commissioner, good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
to see you. And a big shout out, as everybody has said, to our plow and sanding efforts there to get us all in here today. So thank you for that. A lot has already been covered, so I'm just going to hit on a couple of high notes to start with and go from there. So, we are flat on our CHIPS funding, our extreme winter recovery money, our Bridge New York, and Pave New York. So just suffice to say that I am concerned that we are flat. I would like to see us, of course, add something to that. And I've always been taught that if you raise an issue but don't have a solution, that you're whining. So I'm not whining, Commissioner, but what I would like to propose is a community-level emergency assistant grant program. Otherwise, we are calling it CLEAR funding. I've spoken to you a little bit previous about this, and my thanks to our chair for transportation for giving me input as we put this together. But in essence, what I'm talking about is a fund, a $62 million fund, $1 million per county. And for those municipalities within those counties that would realize a 10% or more weather issue that would be based on their total highway budget, that this would qualify them then for some funding under this CLEAR program. It is a way of, I think, being a bridge program from from CHIPS being a flat in our budget, acting as just a little bit of a bridge, to quote that term, and helps them out. So I would like to talk more about that in the future, but I think it's something we could look at. Another way that we could look at if CHIPS is going to stay flat, we are under Section 5 of it's actually a subdivision, Section 5 of our law. It states that where the service life of these projects are at least 10 years, they can use CHIPS funding for road repair. I'd like to see us look at reducing from the 10-year to a possible 8-year term. Those 2 years would be very, very helpful in allowing our municipalities to utilize some CHIP funding, and it may help smooth out some of the issues of not being able to gain some extra funding. On the subject of EVs, I would really like to see us, Commissioner, just do a carve-out or extend the runway, if you will, in 3 classes for emergency vehicles, again for our school buses, and for our plows and heavier machinery. And the reason is because as we look at the infrastructure, it's not just electrical that's that's driving this. It is also bridge weights. They would need to be reevaluated. Guardrail strength on the highways. School lifts to lift these EVs. And more appropriately, I'm a firefighter and a first responder, and so for us, when we attack an EV vehicle versus a conventional, it changes things. We were talking about mass transit, and Chair brought up about the high-speed rail. I'm suggesting a low-speed rail, green hydrogen rail project that would take folks from Port Jervis up the beautiful western parts of the Catskill, just happens to be in my district, all the way to Binghamton. And I really think that this is a green hydrogen-fired locomotive. The interesting part about that, the diesel engine can be easily converted by use of green hydrogen. I think it hits our carbon issues. It also is a way of looking at bringing some of the folks into the beautiful parts of upstate New York that we all love. Safety zones, 100% in favor. We really need to crack down on the issues of speeding through safety zones. And then lastly, I would really like to compliment you and give a quick shout out to Director Andy Stiles from Region 9. I've worked very closely with him. I think it's a reflection of the people that you have put around you, your guidance as far as that goes. He's been available, very informative, and again, Commissioner, I think it speaks well to your stewardship. There was a question in there someplace, but I'll let you determine where that is.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for the time.
We'll look for it.
I really appreciate it. I will reiterate again. Well, first of all, thank you. It's always great to engage you, and I know you're looking at the hydrogen model for rail. And I do think that, we are a technologically challenging area, so it'll be good.